This video is for those of you who struggle to find ways to maximize your limited time as a community leader. Now, when I'm talking about building communities, I'm often talking about helping other people help you. As a community leader, there's only so much you can or should do on your own. Because if it's all centered on you and you are the middle person and everything that gets done, you're not really building a community. You're actually just building dependency on yourself, okay? That means it's not scalable. What you're doing is not scalable. And that means that your impact is therefore not scalable. So if you are anything like many of the community builders I know, you struggle to give up control and to find ways to elevate other people into leadership positions. But you know that your time is extremely limited and you're probably stretched pretty thin as it is. So here's what I'm gonna be talking to you about today. I'm gonna be talking to you about how to actually set up a system, not just talking in broad strokes about how to delegate and how to bring up other leaders in your community, but I'm going to actually share with you my own Notion dashboard that I use to bring people along on a journey to become more deeply committed and involved in my community that I build. So I'm going to be sharing with you a behind the scenes look at how I actually run the community for my business. And I hope that this is a dashboard or a setup that you can actually implement in your own work so that you can start to bring people along on the journey so that you're not building community alone. You should never be doing it alone. This is a team sport, right? So let's figure out how to do this together. Okay, so what you're seeing here is a Notion dashboard that I have set up for a certain inner ring, in Charles Vogel's terminology, of my community. These are the people who have decided they want to get even more deeply involved inside of the community and step up and be what I'm calling EYOC work study mentees of mine. They basically do what you might do if you've joined a yoga studio and you want to volunteer maybe once a week and get free yoga classes. It's not that you're getting something for free, you're actually doing an energy transfer there of some of your volunteer time for complimentary classes. And so this is similar. The work study group comes with a mentorship with me as well as access to my team on the back end, and it includes people contributing in exchange for getting a discount on the course. And this is just one way of many, many ways that you can delegate and grow leaders within your community. This is the way that I am experimenting with first inside of the community that I currently run. I have run all kinds of leadership programs. So what I'm sharing with you is just one example that I hope can inspire you to help other people step up alongside you in the future. So let's dive into what this Notion dashboard actually includes. So first of all, most importantly, it includes a welcome, a very warm welcome to the welcome page and to what is contained. Then it goes into some introduction material. So this might seem really basic. It's what is a community? And then what does the brand community look like? And look for actual examples that are behind this toggle. Now, it might seem basic, but if we are not defining the word community in the same way, it's going to be very hard for anyone in my community, this gets really meta, to help other people, to coach alongside me, to help out other people within the community. Many people will be part of the group and think, oh, I'm a work study mentor student. I shouldn't have to ask what a community is. We don't want to assume that people have all the knowledge though, in the same way that we have the knowledge. So we want to go back and define the foundational critical terms that people need to know in order to step up as leaders in our community. So if somebody does not define community in the way that I've defined it here, I either need to clarify that with them and we need to agree, or we need to not work together because that's going to be really confusing. So I make sure to give some really basic introduction material. I shouldn't even call it basic. It's foundational introduction material so that people don't feel embarrassed and have to ask really basic questions. Then what I do is I actually share, again, really basic tutorials of what our resources are, what systems we use, and why and when we use them. Now, the reason for this is that people are already familiar with our community platform and with our learning management system. However, they're not familiar with things like this Notion dashboard, with Slack, potentially with Google Docs. And that's because these are systems that we only use internally. But once you become part of this inner circle, you get access to these cool tools that we use. Many people use these tools. They're not exclusive in any way, but the way that we set them up definitely is. Okay, so we introduce people to Notion, why they might use it, Slack, which channels they should be part of, what they should feel comfortable sharing and when, Google Docs when we use those, and then miscellaneous housekeeping. I keep it really clear when I'm online and when I'm not online so that people can feel comfortable reaching out to me. These are all just ways to ease people into this leadership position so that they get that foundational knowledge, understand the systems that are being used, and then can step further into engagement and further into into commitment. So when we actually get into delegation and setting up a system for people to step up as leaders. So how I did it was first thinking about what are all the tasks I do in this column. This is where I record these. What are all of the tasks that I do that I don't need to be the one doing? Either because I've created a system for them already and it's just rote and basic at this point, but still can't be automated, or because I should let someone else be visible as a leader in this way and help someone else stand out. So I did that. In addition, what I did was I brought on 4 of these leaders to begin with. And that's something I recommend you do, is start slow and start small. So I brought on 4 of these leaders and I had a phone call with each one of them for about a half an hour each, in which I just asked them, why did you sign up for the course in the community? What are you looking to get out of it? Where are you really confident and where things feel really easy for you? And then where are you challenged and where you want to challenge yourself to go next? What are your aspirations? And so from those conversations, I heard things like, I would like to facilitate more virtual gatherings, or I would like to get more comfortable working with analytics and reporting. And so I had not planned to run special sessions, but after that I decided, why not? Let's let these amazing community builders facilitate their own special sessions with my support and me spreading the word that they're doing this, so they can do it in a low stakes environment, but still be getting the practice they need. And then why don't we let people create surveys and analyze surveys and create a community engagement dashboard? They might be afraid to do that for their own community internally, but if we can start here and they can learn how to create an engagement dashboard for my community, then that's that low stakes way of practicing that they can then take into their work, no matter where they might be. So these are skills that they can be practicing and improving on over time. You're not getting free work from people. This is really important. You are not getting free labor from people when they are stepping up as leaders with you. If you are treating it that way, go do something else, okay? The way you should be thinking about delegating leadership responsibilities is as opportunities for people to learn some new skill, to become more masterful at that skill, to become more experienced, to become more comfortable doing that thing. If they are not gaining anything and are simply just doing rote tasks that they're not learning anything from, that's not a volunteer program that you're running or a leadership program you're running. That is simply just you getting labor for free from people, okay? So pay them. And in some cases that does make sense. If you're gonna hire on like a coach alongside you in a coaching program, you might pay someone else as a co-coach. So what I did first, like I said, was create all of this list of all of the ways people can contribute. Then I categorize them by the type, and this is set up as a multi-select inside of Notion. I put their cadence, so are they ongoing tasks that have to be done, throughout the entire, they're part of this program for 3 months? Are they ad hoc, so just whenever you decide to do them? Are they monthly, so they happen like first Friday or the first Monday of each month, or weekly, etc., etc. And then are they reoccurring, or do they just happen the one time and then they're complete? So from there, then I estimate time. So I took the time I think it would take me to do this, and I times it by about 3 in each instance, because I've been doing this for a long time, and someone who's just learning the ropes should expect to spend a little bit more time learning how to do these tasks. But I still want to give them an idea of what they're actually committing to. Sometimes people will sign up for things without realizing how much time it might take. So we want to be as clear as possible about that at the get-go, so that people aren't signing up and then pulling back from their commitment. Then what I did was I put due dates on things so that we could see, if you're really busy in February, then let's not sign up for anything in February, jump to March. And then I put the number of volunteers needed, and then I shared this table out with everyone who is part of the program. And I said, this task needs one person per month, 1 per week, rotating. And I have a really great group of folks working with me, and each slot got filled. Everyone divvied up the tasks equally. There were no blank spaces. If there were blank spaces, I would have just contacted people privately and said, hey, I know you didn't sign up for this, but this is an area of need, and I would find a way to position it so that it could benefit them in some way. Or I would do it myself. Again, just kind of depends on the situation, depends on what I'm asking someone to do. So once that's all clear, the tough thing at that point is encouraging people to do the thing and motivating them to show up and do the thing that they signed up for, and giving them the skills they need to do it. So in some cases, people might not know how to write a Friday reflection question. So what I did was actually created SOPs, standard operating procedures, for each one of the tasks that I have here. And they're linked if we go farther over into this Notion dashboard. I don't want to share people's names, so I won't be doing that, but they're linked inside of each row here. And each one is really really simple. It's literally just, what is the purpose of this task? What are the tools you need to complete it? And then what is the process? And if you want to watch a video, you can watch a video, or if you want to just follow the written instructions, you can follow the written instructions. What I've noticed from this is that people are able to really self-start and do this in their own way, and they're actually going and doing things much more creatively than I even originally anticipated. The other thing is that each of these SOPs took me no more than 10 minutes each to complete. I have put off creating these SOPs because I thought it was going to take me forever, multiple days. But once I actually started to do it, and because I recorded videos instead of typing everything out, the whole thing took me no more than 2 hours. So it's one push of work for you to get freedom for months and months and months to come. So it's definitely worth doing. The other thing, like I said, that is often an issue with any kind of volunteer run program is that people sign up for things and then they forget that they signed up for it. This is why I think it's really important to have the ability to sort by date. So let's say we want to look at just things that are due in order of time. So we might look at, from January through April, what have people signed up for? Some people in my program decided they were too busy in January, so they only signed up for things in February, March, April. So I know to ping them when that date is coming near. The other thing that you can do here is there's actually more tasks than you're seeing right now. So I'm going to delete this filter, and you can see there are tasks that have already been completed. So once something is completed, you can see it when it's on this default view. But if I want to, I can create a filter that will actually remove anything that is checked off. So I want to filter and only show things that are unchecked, right? So where complete is unchecked, it's showing me that, and now it's hiding anything that's complete so that it's not, this list should get smaller and smaller over time. And if you want to, you can actually save this. Right now, this is known as the default view. I can rename this to just incomplete tasks. And then I can have a view that is, let's say, all tasks, and that I would remove that filter for that. So you can sort this in a number of ways. I've also seen students, let's delete the way this has been set up. I've seen students organize by the people involved, so it will actually filter by people involved or sort by people involved, so that you could actually have a view for each person. You could say create a new table view, and then you could say, let's say one of the volunteers' names was Chelsea. I could say filter just by Chelsea if I was to put people involved. And then what I would do is name the table. I would rename it here, and I would name it Chelsea's view. Then Chelsea has her own little view on the dashboard, right? So there's infinite ways that you can organize this sheet so that people can find what they've signed up for and get more deeply involved. Now that all this is documented, your role is really just to step back and support people wherever they might need support throughout this process, and to see where, things might be falling short of your expectations. Those are just learning opportunities, or things might exceed your expectations and you might realize, oh my gosh, I should have done this a long time ago. Either way, you're going to learn something. So I recommend doing this as soon as you have some procedures and processes in place where you might be able to hand those off to other people so that you're not the only one doing it. So hopefully this is helpful to you. I would love to share with you. I have tons more Notion dashboards for community management. I would love to share with you other ways that I utilize Notion and other tools for community building, community strategy, and community management. I'm happy to take your requests. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoy building your community. Keep doing the good work.